What's up, y'all? I was listening to my horoscope. Now I'm eating Popeye's chicken. Ooh, I'm gonna drop my chicken. Boy, I've been mad in the mud on my chicken. What's up, y'all? Hey, I want to talk about crime. You know what's crazy? First of all, like and subscribe to the channel. Check me out on the Peep Game Show, Friday, XM Satellite Radio 142. I like to live because I just, do what I do, right? I like to talk about random stuff. I'm gonna talk about crime today. People are always talking about, oh, the world coming to an end, the devil having his day, and all this crazy stuff, right? Well, the bottom line is this: crimes are committed by people between the age of roughly 15 to 25, 16, 24, those type of ages, right? And see, one thing about me is numbers don't lie, right? Demographics are important. Demographics, and which is always funny because people start businesses without actually studying the demographics, which is always highly amusing to me. Because until you study the demographics of the business or the area that you're working in, how will you know if it's an expanding market or a shrinking market? So people just get an idea and they passionate about this idea, and that's what they do, and that works for some people. But I always study demographics, so I took this demographic um, understanding and applied it to crime. Right? Shout out to Popeye's Chicken. Like and subscribe to the channel. Oh my goodness, so good. Um, Somebody in California, be a lot of wild stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? It's that type of town. But I'm from Chicago, so it's also that type of town. And people look at the flash mobs and the stuff that's going on in the downtown areas in Chicago, and tons and literally thousands of teenagers come and descend on downtown Chicago. They're causing havoc, and they're creating chaos is the understatement. Okay, they acting a fool. And I look at all these things that's going on as a trend throughout the country, right? So I look at it. I'm like, okay, well, what's really going on? People say, oh, it's just the devil time. It's the end of the world. It's the end of the days. No, I don't think that's so much it. I look at the demographics, right? Like I said, crime is usually created by people between the ages of 26, 14, 15, up to about 25, 26 when they start getting some sense, right? So this is the funny thing about it. Right now, this is the largest generation since the baby boomers. The baby boomer generation had about 88 million people in it, right? Well, these young people now that's in that 21, 22 in that stage, they're at about 110 million people. So their generation is so much larger than the baby boomers that it's a lot more of them. It's a powerful generation. This generation has literally the numbers and the ways to change the world, but they focus off. They on social media. They got a selfie culture. It's about me, my eyes, selfie in the bathroom. I thought pictures was to be taken with memories of other people and special things. Now I'm in the bathroom, but I ain't gonna get into that. It just goes to show you the type of world we in. But crimes are committed by people between the age of 26 and 25. Right now, since this is the largest demographic, literally since the baby boomers, there are so many young people between the ages of 16 to 24, 25 in that demographic zone that it appears like crime is just out of control. It's never been like this before. Well, you're right. It has never been like this before, but there's also never been quite this many 14 to 26 year olds, you know, in history, because this is one of the largest demographics in history. So you got to take that into account. It's not so much that things are worse, it's just there are more people doing worse things. You know what I'm saying? And then it's crazy because to me, this always tripped out to me. I'm talking, but I got to eat. But this generation is like we dealing with the crack babies, baby. You know what I'm saying? So like nobody talks to them about God. Nobody talks to them about things. They kind of just out here doing their thing. And that crack generation, the things that happened in the 80s and the 90s, really messed up a lot of generations, especially black folks. So we ended up having grandparents with old school values raising crack babies that was moving into a new era that we wouldn't even see. We got AI, we got all this stuff going on. It's a whole different world now. You dig what I'm saying? So it's like they couldn't really relate. And now you got these people, grandkids out in neighborhoods causing havoc, you know? they have problems with the way that they're thinking. They haven't been mentored and talked to and loved, which is the biggest thing, loved. Um, and that's why the gang culture is so prevalent, because they find that camaraderie, that connection in the gang that they should be actually finding in family. But that family was broken so much in the 80s and 90s through the cocaine and the drugs, man. Not to mention all the fathers that were sent away because we fell for the trap about selling the drugs and getting locked up and incarcerated, man. We definitely fell for the okie doke. So for me, I look at the crime rate and I'm like, it makes perfect sense to me, because this is the largest generation since the baby boomers. There's over 110 million people, young people, coming into this world, and it's like getting into life. So even though it seemed like it's the worst time ever, it only seems like that because it's more of the people in that demographic space that commit crimes than ever. So don't get discouraged. Don't think the world is coming to an end. Parents, take a hold of your children and pay attention to them, get them some love, and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't gonna never get better if we don't really understand um what's really going on. So it ain't that the devil having his day. The devil gonna have his day. That's what he do. There's a lot of people that just aren't want to do wrong. And it's crazy because, when you think about when you was 14, 15, 16, 17, like it seems so fun being in hot stuff and gang stuff and running around. When you start getting 26, 27, you start understanding, your brain starts to mature. You start to get out of some of those chemicals that affect the brain at a young age. You start to understand. That's why it's important for us to not give up on these young people and just write them off. Just think, oh, it's so many of them, they ain't on nothing. We can't be like that, because it was people that said the same thing about us, and now we're the ones that are employing people and making progress and doing what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? So if people had to gave up on us, where would we be? So we can't give up on them, and don't be scared of them, because all they want really is somebody to come and show that they care. All this crime and stuff is going on is so crazy, because when I was growing up, I remember growing up in the 80s and 90s. It was so many drug dealers around me. That's all I wanted to be, right? Then was my role models. Like, then was the one that got the girls and the cars and all that stuff. So, like, y'all see me with all this Adidas on. My whole life, I wanted to be a 1990 drug dealer. Now, 2023, I finally made it. You dig what I'm saying? I got a 1988 drop top vet with like 40,000 miles on it. I'm living like a 1990 drug dealer, just without the drugs. Okay? So it's like, it goes to show your mentality, because in that time, we gravitated to what was cool, what was happening. And them cats looked like they was having fun getting money. But you look now, they did. Their families is destroyed. Their kids is messed up. They did long prison bits. I got homies that did 20, 20, 35 years. You know what I'm saying? 20, 30, 35 years and came home. Um, Shout out my man JoJo. And they did this type of time with honor like it wasn't nothing, because they live by a different code. Now we got the snitches and all that, because the streets ain't the same no more. You know, there is no honor. There is no thematic premise. I mean, crime is crime. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a different time that we live in, man. And these kids now, they off these pills. Nobody talk to them about God. Then this fentanyl thing. Like, it's so many things against the family now that exist. We gotta really. I just stay prayed up. You know what I'm saying? And do my part and work with my children and make sure that they're doing what they need to do. But we can't give up on the next generation, thinking that just because they wilding out and they doing these things, because they won't always do these things. There'll be some that will survive. Don't underestimate just grabbing one and mentoring one. I have mentored so many children and young people, and now they're thriving in life. One thing about me, if I die tomorrow, and Lord knows I hope I don't, you don't gotta know me. You don't gotta know what I've done. But my life meant something to somebody. Make your life mean something to somebody. Go grab one or two of them and take them to lunch and holler at them and try to understand what the pain is, what they're going through. Talk to them. We can't change the world, but one person can change the world. So if you change one person, that might be the person that changed the world. You dig what I'm saying? Because people like Malcolm X, people like Martin Luther King, people like Gandhi, people like Barack Obama recently, they kind of changed the world in a lot of ways. You dig what I'm saying? So us Don't think that what you're saying don't mean nothing to them, or that they don't care. We try to talk to them because I know they got the attitude, these young people, but they hear you, and they're a powerful generation. They're young, they're strong, and they got numbers. If we can take a percentage of this generation and work with them and make them understand what life is about, and continue to nurture them and show them love and help bring them up, we can really raise the nation that way. But we can't raise them by always criticizing and always coming down on them. Yeah, they boast in a lot of stuff that they do. I'm from Chicago, and I mean the shit that they do is outlandish. It's crazy. But us, one thing in the eyes of God, there is no big and little sin. There's no, well, you kill somebody, so you're terrible. Well, in God's eyes, sin is sin. You lie, cheat, adulterer, it is what it is. Forgiveness is forgiveness, and God forgives us every day. So we also have to be challenged to forgive people to do us wrong sometime too. You dig what I'm saying? So we always asking God for forgiveness and universe for forgiveness and blessings. Well, we also got to forgive and be a blessing. Sometimes you get let stuff go. You know what I'm saying? So we can't just count off these young people and think that they just terrible and I ain't finna never be nothing in life. Because that's not the case. So like I said, grab one because one could change the world. The one you grab could change the world. You might grab you a young Malcolm X or somebody that could really change the world. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thing. That was my whole thing for the night, man. And like I said, check out my FM Satellite Radio show. I talk to infamous and famous people. And my YouTube channel, I just try to get my perspective and talk about stuff. Don't panic. These young people are gonna be okay. You grab you one, you get involved with these youth foundations, Cub Scouts, YMCA, YWCA, YouthCanChicago.org. It's the organization that my mom founded 30 some years ago. You know, there's a lot of places you can go and really help. Don't just criticize. We all can sit on the sidelines and talk shit. But who gonna get in the trenches and really get with these people, young kids and young people, and try to mentor them and give them a better way and a better understanding? You dig what I'm saying? So Church on the Move, the Peep Game Show, XM 142 HBCU. Shout out Windy City Word. Shout out my girl over there, Mary Dash from Global Mix. I hope I'm making y'all proud. I'm just doing my thing. And man, check it out. Peace and love.